I'd like to thank Scott for reminding us yesterday how the tea ceremony is likened to the celebration of the Eucharist. Every time Ruben would bring his students from SMU and we would ask for feedback, most of the feedback would center around the sharing of the tea because they would always liken it or compare it with the with the Eucharist. Of course, most of the students are Christians, Methodists, so that's how they're able to relate with the tea ceremony. I'm also reminded of the time that Florence and I went to a sweat lodge in almost the border of Oklahoma and Texas. And of course, they put a lot of cold there and you're like steaming hot. And it wasn't that enjoyable for me, mainly because, again, there's that difference between what men can wear and what women should wear. So the man could go there half naked, all right? And then the women, one, you can't go if you have your period. Second, no short sleeves, so everything is covered. But anyway, I was able to do with that. And then the shaman, started talking, and we were all listening, sweating. But in the sweating and listening, I too was reminded of the tea ceremony that we were doing at the Zendo at Grace United Methodist Church. There is really that sense of communion when we do the tea ceremony or when we were there, just listening, just sweating, and just being there as one body. So that was a good experience for me that I can relate to the tea ceremony. So I'd like to invite others who would like to say something about an experience, not necessarily the tea, wherein you experience that sense of communion with others. Just press the space bar and hold it, and then you can just talk.
Probably at rock concerts is where I've experienced a strong sense of communion with other people. The the music is too loud for conversation and everyone is moving in unison, which I think promotes that feeling of being united.
Thank you. Yes, Scott.
I was going to say rock concerts too, but there's another. I've been in a number of demonstrations or marches, and a big crowd, all there for the same reason. And I used to also run in road races, 10Ks and marathons and things like that. And especially at the beginning of the race, when there's 1,000 people at the starting line, and everyone starts running at the same time, and the earth just shakes. I always like that was my favorite part.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mike.
piggyback on what he was saying. Kind of, yeah, related to exercise, but especially when doing outdoor trips with friends, like whether it be backpacking, bike packing, kayaking, and camping, stuff like that. Just the difficulty of how strenuous the trips are, but that like kind of brings everybody together. And also just being in nature kind of tends to do that for you as well. So it's yeah, that's something I really enjoy, and I get a similar Like before I started meditating, I would get the same feeling I get from meditating out in nature. Now I know why, because it can bring you to a similar spot.
Thank you. Maxine?
Yeah, a week after California got shut down, my community, and there's thousands of us around the world, but there was about 100, 150 of us on Zoom. What we do is we called applied improvisation, and we all came together and we knew that we had something to help people, but everything we ever did was in person. And there was such a, and there is, we still meet every Friday to play. And when I play with this group, whether in person or on Zoom, there is such a camaraderie and a communion. We laugh with each other, we support each other. There's no mistakes. It's about the purest form of verbal commune I know. This being a nice, quiet commune, but I feel privileged to be part of that organization.
Thank you. Nona?
Yeah, this kind of goes back to the concert theme. Let me, hold on. I always got that going to Messiah sing-alongs, Handel's Messiah, especially when we got to the Hallelujah chorus. You know, you've got 200, 300, 400 people in the audience, in the auditorium, and some people can sing and some can't. And of course, everybody can sing and stuff, but in certain parts of the Hallelujah chorus, it's just glorious music, and you've got all of these strangers in a room singing the same notes, the same song, and you don't even have to get to the meaning of the song, like what it's about. It's just a matter of the voices and everyone sharing the glory of being there together. Those are some of my greatest moments of communion.
Michael?
Most mornings before anybody is awake and the house is very still, I am the one who gets to make lunches for my daughters. And so, I like to do it, very mindfully, putting the bread on top of the bread and, going through each part of their lunch. And for me, it's an opportunity, an expression to, to participate in their day. And so I sense a very deep sense of connection with them just from making lunches. And so, I love the time I get to spend with them in the mornings, even though they're still asleep, knowing that later in the day they get to enjoy those things.
Carolyn?
If I could piggyback on what Nona said, I find singing in harmony with anyone, 1 people, 10 people, to me is an experience of deep communion. Our souls merge together in the music, and I find it one of the most spiritual experiences I have.
I have a bit of a strange one. Some time ago, many years ago, actually, I had some feelings in my heart. It was kind of I didn't feel well, and I decided to check it out. Hospitals to ER right there just to make sure that I for a long time for a specialist, and they just said, "Oh, I have a heart whatever burn," and they just rolled me right in because it's basically I didn't know that, but yes, it's basically you don't wait when you come up with the heart symptoms. So I spent probably about 3 days there, And in the end, they did all the tests. They said that it was pristine. That was the word they used. But I was kind of ashamed a bit because I was sitting in the cardiology unit where a lot of people were really sick, and they were, of course, 3 times older than me, most of them. And it felt community. It felt strange and interesting community. People were sometimes withdrawn, sometimes talking to each other. But it was an interesting feeling of commonness based on suffering, maybe, and based on isolation, maybe. So that's an interesting thing coming to mind because, again, of the COVID and of me working at the hospital now. Thank you.
Yes, Rosa? She's gone.
Okay, I'm back. I thought of a long time ago when I was a university student and I was in Italy. And as a university student, we were all poor, thereabout. And we decided to meet in what we call a pizzeria, which is a place where they cook pizza. And it was a group of people meeting there, and I was late. And as I arrived, I said, of course, hello to everybody. And then instead of me having to order the pizza, because everybody had already got their pizza since I was late, they didn't allow me to order a pizza. Everybody gave me a slice or their pizza. So they had an enormous multicolored pizza. And I always remember the poem, this song in Multicolored Coat. And that was the best pizza I ever had in my life. And probably 40 years have elapsed, and I still think that's a very, very special moment.
I think what comes to mind for me is I took a 9-month course in New York with a group of about 40 other people. And it was a very, we got together monthly. It was a very intimate experience. And at the end, we had to do a 10-minute presentation, and they varied completely. Some people sang, some people danced, some people read poetry. We all did something different. And we did it over the course of 2 days. I've never felt that kind of visceral, I don't know, something in the air, because everyone was just really expressing their heart. And it was really beautiful. It'll stay with me forever.
So let us have our tea communion. Let us raise our teacups again.